Champions are not born, they are forged, tempered and shaped by the fires of competition. Each year, the nation's best amateur racers enter the flames of the Sports Car Club of America Runoffs, a single winner-take-all event. This year, the Runoffs returns to Road America, one of the world's greatest and most challenging tracks. Over 500 drivers will take the green at the 48th annual Runoffs. Only 28 will emerge as national champions. The SCCA Runoffs, next on Speedcast TV. Hi everybody, welcome, and we are back with our continuing coverage here of the 48th annual SCCA National Championship Runoffs. Coming up, it is E-Production, the battle for the National Championship in one of the biggest fields that we have here this year in this 48th running of SCCA's National Championship Runoffs at Road America. We've got 36 entries, every one of them, except a couple right at the back on the list that got times in qualifying. We've seen a couple of these people have been able to start nonetheless, so a big field coming our way, and it is going to be, I think, a very exciting race. This is the fastest of the production classes, and you've got some very quick Mazda Miatas, you've got 240Zs, you've got a couple of TR6s, and then you've got a great mix of other machinery as well, and it makes for a very interesting race. And then you throw in this kind of weather on top of it, and I think we're in for an interesting show. And the guy that's back in the lineup just a little bit, qualified fourth, Sam Halkias, although in the dry, this is impressive because he's obviously found a little bit of speed in what I think is the prettiest sounding car here at the Runoffs period of the over 500 entries, that Catawba Island Marina Triumph TR6. The last time it was wet here for the Runoffs, he brought home the gold in 09, so he might be the favorite in these conditions. As I said, it's John Bizignano down in the pits. I'm Greg Kramer along with Chip Herr, and you hear the whistling, and that means they're getting ready, and that means Biz is ready.
Well, before the lunch break, I did a weather report, and unfortunately I was very accurate with it. What's happened here, we've had a low over Wisconsin for almost 5 or 6 days, and it's slowly started moving out over the lake where it picked up a bunch of water, and it's counterclockwise circulating right over Sheboygan and right here into Elkhart Lake. Right now, we actually have a river of water flowing through the SCCA tent on the grid, but the lower part of this track is famous for turning into a river. Right now, of course, everyone out here is on full wet tires. Some of these cars, of course, are hooded cars and some of them are open cars, but right now in E-Production, I don't think anyone really wants to be here. If the bottom part of that track is flooded, they might have a red flag.
It'll be interesting to see. Down in turn 5, you do tend to get that puddling, and then as you run through the area that there's hurry downs, but the area from the carousel through the kink down into 12, which really is one of the lower parts of this track, you'll get some water running across the track, and I mean you could see that is hitting water when it comes down. So, and looking behind that curbing there, Chip, that's a little bit of a lake. This is some dicey stuff.
Yeah, I also learned that in the rain in Grand Am when we were here earlier this year, that down and out of the kink into Canada Corner, the water runs down the mountain. It's like a natural spring or whatnot, and it comes down, and actually when it starts to dry out, there's still going to be water coming off the mountain that will run across in 2 to 3 different spots going into Canada Corner, and that is a very high-speed area. Absolutely it is. That's what they call kettle bottoms, and you're literally getting to the bottom of the moraine. This is all part of the legendary Kettle Moraine forest area carved by glaciers, and the moraines that were left when the glaciers melted are what form these beautiful hills, and the track climbs over them and then runs between them. And Kettle Bottoms is right down into Canada Corner at the bottom of the moraine. As I said, this is a very large field, so I'm going to get right to the starting lineup because it's going to take just a little bit to make sure we get through it all. And there are some people we want to talk about. One of them is your pole sitter. He's a 2-time and the defending champion. He won from pole last year as well. He's on the pole again. John Brocky out of Fargo, North Dakota. Land O'Lakes region is his region. He's got 3 medals total, and he drives the Margaret Peterson Bars Mazda Miata. And he used to run a Yenko Stinger, which was basically a modified Corvair chassis, and was always close but could never get the medal, and decided to try one of these Mazda Miatas. In the first year he did it, he went out in 03 and won gold. Now, Greg Ira, number 2, qualified second. He did that last year as well out of Plantation, Florida. Florida is his region. And he had about a 3-second lead last year where there was a full course caution, and on the restart,
He didn't time it quite right. Brocky got in front of him and went on to the win. So Ira is hungry in his First Coast Auto Sales Datsun 240Z, always very quick. Another guy who's very fast, number 5, Aaron Downey out of Rossmore, California, San Francisco region, the roundpeg.com Mazda RX-3. Big motor in that car, but handling sometimes up against these more nimble little machines has been an issue for him. And he is affected, of course, because it's a big top on that car, punches a hole. In this, that could all be negated, and he could be very strong here as well. And then the gentleman I talked about qualified fourth, number 83, Sam Halkias out of Westerville, Ohio. Ohio Valley region is his home region. Won the gold in 09 when it was damp. 3 medals he has earned over the course of his Runoffs career in that beautiful Catawba Island Marina Triumph TR6. And again, I think the sweetest sounding car that runs at the Runoffs. Starting in the 5th spot, number 41, is Ken Shreve out of Sammamish, Washington, Oregon is his region, and the MBR LLC Mazda RX-7. He is joined by the number 55, qualified 6, Justin Pritchett out of Granville, Ohio, Kansas City region, 3-time gold medalist in open wheel stuff. The 06 Continental and 0203 Ford winner in Formula Ford, now called Formula F, and the Carriage and Motor Works Hoosier Tired Mazda RX-7. Qualified 7th, the brother, older brother of our pole sitter 08, Mark Brocky out of Coon Rapids, Minnesota, Land Lakes region, and he's in his self-sponsored entry. He was running very strong last year, then had some electrical problems. Starting 8th, number 77, Rich Kozdrowski out of Granbury, Texas, and the Cosmic Enterprises Hoosier Tire Caterham 7. Boy, is he in for a damp day in that beautiful car, but talk about exposed in the elements. Starting 9th, number 70, Stephen Hickam out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida region in the Mazda RX-8. Starting 10th, number 9, Josh Carroll out of San Ramon, California, in the Ensight Mazda RX-7. Starting 11th, number 95, James Samaras out of Oconomowoc, Wisconsin. Milwaukee region is his home region. In the Mazik Motorsports RX-7s, qualified 12th. And somebody in this weather could be a real dark shoe, a dark horse here, number 48, Mike Sturm out of Grafton, Wisconsin, Milwaukee region. Honda City Sturminator design, Honda Prelude SI. He is really quick in the wet. Starting 13th, an ex-ice racer, by the way, and that's going to help not so much with the wet, but with the visibility. We'll explain that a little bit more. Starting 13th, number 24, Rick Kavitsky out of Freeland, Pennsylvania, and he is in the RDK Engineering Mazda Miata. Starting 14th, number 34, Jesse Prather out of Topeka, Kansas region. 3-time gold medalist and a pole and 2 fast laps over his Runoffs career. The Jesse Prather Motorsport Mazda Speed, Mazda MX-5, and it's an MX-5, and that's a little different than the Miatas that are here. It's newer. It's got it's a little heavier, but it's got great brakes and good handling. And again, that weight might actually help him out here. We'll see what he can do from 14th. He certainly is quick. And Jesse Prather Motorsport preps a lot of cars that run in the production class, so he's had a busy weekend here to be sure. Starting 15, number 17, Sam Moore out of Kannapolis, North Carolina, and the Hoosier Tire Bavarian Motors BMW Z3. Starting 16th, the 64 of Austin Snyder out of Brookshire, Texas. Houston is his home region. The Mazda Speed Rotary in Mazda RX-8. And he had a off in the kink last year that brought out a full course caution and was the result of him not bringing home a finish. But he had qualified 5th. He is plenty quick in that machine. Starting 17th, number 16, Meredith Pritchard out of Granville, Ohio, Kansas City region, the Carriage and Motor Works Mazda RX-7. 18th is the 09 of Gary March, Canton, Ohio, Northeast Ohio region, and the Kreider Racing Mazda RX-7 Roadster. Starting 19th, number 52, is Jeff Willard out of East Troy, Wisconsin, Milwaukee region, in the Triple R Auto Sports Mazda RX-7. Starting 20th, number 15, Brian Haupt out of Spring Hill, Kansas, KCR, that's Kansas City region, and the Carriage and Motor Works Mazda RX-7 for him as well. He has run 6 different classes at 4 different tracks in a long and storied Runoffs career. He's been at it a long time, and he is good. Starting 21st, number 3, John Longwell out of Kittredge, Colorado region, Leadfoot Motorsports BMW 328 IS. Starting 22nd, number 6, Charlie Clark out of Mission, Kansas City region, in the KC Racewear Amsoil Mazda RX-7. Starting 23rd, 37, Sam Henry out of Republic, Missouri. He also ran in Spec Miata and had a very entertaining run. A SpringfieldDyno.com Safe Racer Mazda Miata. Starting 24th, number 13, is Innes Isley out of Evergreen, Colorado region, Leadfoot Motorsports BMW 318. Starting 25th, number 28 is Bill Allman out of Topeka, Kansas region, the CarStar Mazda Speed, Jesse Prather Motorsports Mazda RX-7. Starting 26th, number 46, Sidney Davis out of Cypress, Texas. Houston is his region, and the Mazda Speed Goodyear Mazda Miata. Starting 27th, number 80 is Rob Hummel out of McHenry, Illinois. Chicago is his region. Hummel Construction Mazda RX-7. Starting 2802, Rob Coffey out of Thunder Bay, Ontario. He's running out of BVR region, Blackhawk Valley region. Sponsored by David Hobbs Honda and CKPR Radio in the Honda Prelude. Starting 29th, his 49th class start in the Runoffs. What a story. Number 25, Mark Weber out of St. Louis, Missouri. and he's in the Goodyear Redline Oil Mazda Miata this year. Starting 30th, number 53, Guy Roos out of Boulder, Colorado region, the Pearl Auto Body Mazda RX-7. Starting 31st, number 4, Don Bunt out of Rockford, Illinois, Chicago region is his region. In the SMP link, buntsoft.com, Datsun 240Z. Starting 32nd, number 66, Rich Olson out of South Barrington, Illinois, Chicago, Olson Engineering Mazda RX-7. Starting in the 33rd spot, number 81, Ron Olson out of Barrington, Illinois, Chicago region, the Barrington Performance Mazda RX-7. Starting 34th, number 51, John Stoutberg out of Houston, Texas. Houston is his region at his first Runoffs, the Texas Direct Auto Mazda RX-7. And then the two guys we're not sure about, number 7, Robert Dornberg in the GDC Enterprises Hoosier Caterham 7, and 07, Steve Smitek out of Brookfield, Wisconsin in the Slip Shield Mazda. They did not get any time in qualifying. We're not sure whether they're going to be able to take the green. As I said, it was a big field. Took the whole pace lap to get through them all, but that means we could be in for a great show, even in these abysmal conditions. Pace car is off, and now Brocky and Ira, the front row, lead them up the hill. Brocky, that red car, far to the right, coming up the front stretch. Ira, the orange 240Z on the outside. Here we go, watching for the start. It is green. We are underway, and Ira, he got the jump. And Brocky has said, my car's not quite the grunt of that 240Z nor that RX-3. His car is all about handling, and now visibility. Look at the spray. Look at Ira trying to get over. And he's not necessarily just trying to block Brocky. He's trying to get as much spray in Brocky's face as he can, I would think, Chip. You use every tool in the toolbox, and making that guy struggle to see, that's a big part of it.
Yeah, I tell you, Ira, when he came in the last corner, turned 14, I saw him with a towel in his hand, and he was rubbing the windshield on the inside. So obviously there's an issue with fogging up already, and it's not even a race, didn't even start yet. So he got a really great start in the outside from the second position and got a good launch. And right now he's got the open air, and he's not having any mist in his face. But that was incredible seeing. Look at the mist. The car has just literally disappeared at Sargento Bridge.
And the thing is, we don't have a lot of breeze, and you want to see mist in the air. When you make that turn into the kink, in that area where it's all treed in down there, it just hangs and gets worse and worse. And look at this. We've got another change. Up into the second spot is Downey in that RX-3, and that thing is really good in a straight line. There's that Caterham 7, and boy, talk about being open air. Down into turn 5, the rest of the field slotting through. I think that was no, it wasn't. I thought that may have been Austin Snyder with a great start. We'll try and keep an eye on it. There is the number 41. That's Ken Shreve in his Mazda RX-7. Started in the 5th spot. And there, right, that car coming at you here, 4th in this line, that white, that's that Catawba Island Marina Triumph TR6 of Sam Halkias. He doesn't mind racing in the wet. He's very good at it in that TR6 as they head down into turn 8.
They're driving a dry line. It really surprises me that they're actually driving. I haven't seen one person ring shot the outside yet. Looks like they're standing out somewhat on the outside here of the carousel, but it's really important. There's a lot of grip there.
Yep.
We've heard that from a lot of drivers in the press conference afterwards, and they're going to find that out because they're going to have a wiggle, they're going to slide, and all of a sudden the car is going to bite,
right.
And they're going to say, "Oh, what is that?" There's a lot of bite there.
Yep, you got to find it, and that's the deal. And look at this. Halke is coming after John Brocky, the defending gold medalist, 2-time gold medalist in this category, and the pole sitter here. And Brocky right now in this spray is dropping back just a little bit. And you can see this is our unmanned stationary camera, and it's got a little bit of water on that lens right now as well as we're heading down into Canada Corner. And Halke is coming after Brocky right now, putting up a good battle, and Brocky right down the middle of the track. And I've heard drivers talk about that, what they'll do is, if they're running a track that's got a seam down a straight or whatever when it's wet, they'll make sure they get a tire right on that seam because water puddles in that seam and it throws up more at the guy behind them.
Oh,
you do whatever you can do, obviously, utilizing anything you can at this point. And Brocky right now, look at this. Halke is taking a look down the inside into 14. Sometimes that doesn't work so well. There's Ken Shreve. And there's Prather. That's that MX-5. That's Jesse Prather. And that's the car we were talking about. It's a newer model of the Miata, now called the MX-5. Good brakes, good handling, but a little heavier. But
started 14th.
This weather may not negate him, and he is moving up in a hurry, isn't he?
Yeah, he was started 14th, and I think he's in the 4th or 5th spot, and he is on a move.
So the order right now, Ira, Justin Pritchard, a great opening lap as well, up from 6th in that number 55. Then Brocky, then Halkias, then Shreve. And then Prather, as you said, what an opening lap by Jesse.
Yeah, and another car that's doing really well is Sam. Is it Sam Hawkey's? He's doing a great job with his rain line. Just judging by Hawkey's, he's doing a great job with his rain line. He's looking real good. He's found a good line. It seems to be working for him.
Yeah, and I'm a little surprised that we've seen Aaron Downey just plummet down the order. I'm not exactly sure what may have happened. Didn't see him off anywhere, but he definitely he just continues to drop. And that's a big surprise. We thought he would be a serious player here at this point. And look at this. This is Justin Pritchard coming after Ira. That's the lead valve. There's Downey. He is in the pits, and he's bringing somebody else in with him. So something amiss. And I wonder if it might be fogging on that car. Look at that. You can't. That looks like that windshield might be completely fogged up. That's Mark Brocky with him as well. And Brocky, also a player, had qualified in the 7th spot. Ira feeling the heat from Justin Pritchard. A convert from the open wheel ranks, and right now probably going, hey, this isn't so bad driving a car with a roof and everything in this kind of conditions out here, as opposed to being out there in one of those formula cars. Ira, though, leading away at this point. Ooh, little wiggle there.
Pritchard's got the rain line. You see he's ring shot and everything. We'll see the line here. Ira's running a real tight line, and it seems like Pritchard's running the rain line. It's going to be interesting. I think it's just a matter of time before Pritchard gets by, and then once he does, he'll basically be showing, putting Ira to school as far as showing where there is bite, where there is grip.
Yeah, Pritchard doing a nice job, and obviously in open wheel formula stuff, when it's wet, you learn that rain line in a hurry.
Oh yeah.
And so he's got that knowledge certainly, and as you said, putting it to use here, and nowhere near the normal line through the kink, staying off of it as much as possible. There goes Ira. There goes Pritchard. That's a great stationary shot with all that spray. Here we go. Down into Canada corner. And Ira hard on the brakes. Pritchard right after him. Pritchard a little bit of a wiggle, so he is pushing. But that gap is gone. And he is being very aggressive right now. And it's funny, Pritchard, there's an interesting story here. I got to tell this. We talked about SCCA being a family. And maybe the definitive version of that. And I'm going to base it off a corner worker because that's where the tree sort of spreads out here. Alex Clark is a corner worker. She's been working corners all day today, but not all weekend, but not today. The reason is her dad is Brian Haupt, who I talked about has run 6 different classes at 4 different tracks in Runoffs history. That's her dad. Her sister is named Meredith, who's now named Meredith Pritchard, who I talked about, who qualified 17th, who recently married a guy named Justin Pritchard, who's running 2nd right now. And, whoops, got a spin here. Alex's husband runs race cars. His dad runs race cars, and yes, they run in production as well. So it's a big connection right here, but that's why Alex is not out on the corner, as she is cheering on her new brother-in-law,
Look at the run.
her sister. He did get through there, didn't he?
He's using that outside edge, and that outside rain line is going to work for him.
Ira giving him the squeeze, but left him just enough room.
But now he's back on the dry line.
So there we go. And onto the front straight we go. Look at that run. And again now, Pritchard is on his way.
We'll see if what kind of horsepower he's got here. Because Pritchard, I don't think has the horsepower, but he definitely has a really good racing line. And he's been really smooth on the throttle and gentle on the brakes, which his car is very, very planted.
Well, now let's see. Ira, not quite enough. Oh, he got by him.
Yeah.
Yep, he did get by him again.
It's all ponies.
Yeah, and at this point now, in a defensive line, Ira right down the inside. And maybe he'll go, whoa, there was some nice grip there. And start to figure that out. But Pritchard, again, boy, does he get out of these turns.
That's a nice drive up in the middle. Now it's going to get slippery right in here. Slippery until you slide out and hit the rain line. Going to the next quick. I think Ira's going to probably wait for the straight because he's definitely got some horsepower on Pritchard. Or he might be able to pull it off right now in a short straight.
Yep.
Pritchard's going to drive defensive here going down the middle. Now watch the different lines here. Pritchard hits the brakes and stays wide, and then you can see that.
And Prather and off at 5 after that great charge up to 6th from where he had qualified. Back in the order just a little bit at 14th, and that's gone away. But as you said, right now, I think this is maybe a smart move by Ira because he saw Pritchard come from back, close up on him, and get by him, and now Ira maybe is going, man, it wouldn't hurt me to watch what he's doing in terms of a line.
Yeah, Ira just changed his line to the carousel. I think he's realizing real quick, like, wow, we need to. There's something I can. You learn something.
Sure, you
Somebody reels you in that quick in the same class. It makes you wonder, what's that guy doing? And it's early. It's only the 2nd lap, or working on the 3rd.
Exit of the kink, heading into Canada corner.
I mean, look at that. He's just
Yeah.
driving away. Got open track here.
Oh, we got to report John Brackey had a quick spin up at turn 6. So his day after qualifying on pole, getting away from him just a little bit. He was third at the time. We'll see if he lost any positions. He had Sam Halkias not that far back of him, less than a second away. So I would suspect, unless Halkias got held up, that we're going to have a new third place person right now behind these two in this great battle at the front. There is the 41, a Ken Shreve, who now probably has moved up into fourth. We'll have to wait till they come through, but he's having a nice drive as well. At qualified fifth, he's been very, very consistent in that MBR Mazda RX-7. And there's Halkias in that Catawba Island Mariner machine, and there's Shreve. So that's it. That is your battle. I believe right now that'll be the battle for third at this point, which of course is the final medal. As they onto the front straight, here we go. Completing, this will be lap number 4. Waiting for, actually completing lap 3. These guys are just now coming up, which gives you an idea of the margin that Pritchard and Ira have opened up here in the early going. There goes Halkias by, and he's 22 seconds back of Justin Pritchard, our leader at this point. But Ira only a couple of seconds off, and let's see if he's learning at this point or whether he's seriously adversely affected by the spray. That'll be the other thing to see what happens there. Brocky Spinall still in the 5th spot right now, and then Austin Snader coming right back by. And, boy, there's that Caterham 7 doing a beautiful job out there, and you know that is one wet driver already.
Yeah, you can just see that there are a lot of guys who are driving the regular dry line. It's just not working for them. The lap times are insane.
Yeah.
How fast they drop off. I mean, it's like rain line 305, rain line 307, semi-rain line, and then it goes back to dry line, and it's 10 seconds.
Yeah,
roughly 10 seconds.
Yeah, it's interesting that they, that as you said, you would have thought that they would have explored that just a little bit more at this stage. By the way, that's Rich Kodrowski in that beautiful Caterham 7. Behind him, the number 70 of Steve Hickam in that RX-8 right now is doing a nice job. There goes Brocky, the red Mazda Miata. And then that is Shreve right behind him. And then here we go, Kodrowski, and that is the 70 of Hickam down into 5.
That's a good-looking RX-8s.
Yeah, they are, aren't they?
They sound good. Probably can even though it's raining and damp and cold, probably still shoot flames in upshifts.
That they do put on a spectacular visual show, that's for sure. And this is a good battle, as we said, right now for the 7th spot, working through the pack here.
Here's the last lap time. Pritchard ran a 3:05.8, and Ira ran a 3:09. So that just gives you an idea. Once he got clean air, what kind of lap time he can lay down on the rain line.
Yeah, that makes a big difference to be sure.
But we know Ira has more horsepower in a straight line, so if he can learn the rain line, then we could have a serious race here.
Well, that may be it. I mean, obviously, you can learn that rain line from a couple seconds back where the spray's not right smack in your face. Watch what he's doing and then decide to mount the challenge. And as you said, it looks like Ira's got the power in a straight line, so if he can close it up, as we're seeing a challenge here, Hickam taking a look at Rich Kodrowski down into the kink, and wisely decided, well, you don't want to necessarily be side by side through there, and tuck back in behind. Now we'll see what he can muster as they head down through this winding section of track called Kettle Bottoms, heading down toward Canada Corner, turn 12. And this is that area, you can just see all that mist just hangs in between these trees, and the visibility is doubly tough down in this spot of the track. But I tell you what, Kodrowski and that Caterham is pretty effective from the exit of the kink through down here, and he pulls out that margin. But you wonder now if Hickam, he locked up, slid wide, and found that sudden bit of grip, if we might not see him now around the outside of 12.
That's an accidental find.
Exactly.
Find a treasure, accidentally bump into it.
Hey, years ago when I was running IT in my first rain race at Brainerd, and that is the number 24. That's a significant buried. That's Rick Kavitsky out of Freeland, Pennsylvania, in the RDK Engineering entry, and that's down at Canada Corner. Oh, and he got the wall, didn't he? It locked up and slid off and got into the wall. That's a tough break.
That's just a little bit late braking, rear lock up, and then try to catch it. And then once it hit the grass, he was along for the ride and bumped the wall and ended up in the gravel.
Yeah, well, and in these conditions, you hit the grass, the car actually picks up speed.
Oh, yeah.
It's just amazing.
Especially with the weather it's been all week.
So, yeah, I was going to say, when I was running my IT car at Brainerd when I first started racing, and I got into turn 10, and my foot slipped off the brake. And I scooted, and I got in that turn is there's a little banking to it, and I got up on the outside there, and that thing just hooked up. And so that's when I started exploring the outside of all the turns, and I went, that's what they mean by rain line. And it works, to be sure. Yeah, quick shot there of Ken Shreve in the 4 spot. This is the guy he's chasing. There goes Sam Halkias, and here comes Shreve. That's your battle for the final medal position, the bronze medal here, heading down into turn 5. And now we're seeing some of these guys are definitely, at least in the approach to the turn, are not on the normal racing line.
Yeah, I think they're just trying different things. I think at least for me, when you drive if you try to drive in a dry line, you can literally have a guy on rain tires and a guy on slicks. If the guy on slicks drives the rain line I'm not talking about adjusting the setup at all.
Right.
He can still out-qualify a guy with rain tires on the dry line. There's that much bite offline.
Yep.
When the racing line, like you said before, it's very smooth. It's just grooved very smooth.
Well, and I'll tell you, folks, if you want to see a clinic, I mean, take yourself and consider it a master's graduate class in racing in the rain. Rewatch the Ace Sedan race and watch what Andy McDermott did on his way to the win in that race on slicks in wet conditions. You're going to learn a lot. And Brocky, after that spin, is now starting to close it back up on Shreve, who's just a couple of seconds off of Halkia. So Brocky not out of a medal yet at this stage. And Justin Pritchard, the margin over Ira now is about 4 seconds, but it's been that for the last lap. So we're going to have to see if that expands out again as we're working lap 5 of 13. And they're still running laps over 3 minutes at this stage. And this is a 13-lap race, but there is a 40-minute time limit on it. And in these conditions, especially, if we have a caution of some sort, we certainly hope we don't, although it might bunch things up a little bit, making it more interesting. But nonetheless, there is a time limit on these as well. We'll keep you apprised of that should it become a timed event. We got a report that Mark Webber, in that 49th class start, he runs multiple classes usually every year, but that's still just an insane number of starts at the runoffs, is in the gravel at turn 3. He has found the gravel at turn 3, which has proven to be kind of a tricky little piece of real estate. There's Mark, one of the country's top motorsports photographers, and also just an immense supporter of the Sports Car Club of America on so many levels. And in the gravel, he used to run an MG for many, many years. Last year, he used Eric Prill's Lotus 7 and tried that out, and this year he decided to try one of the Mazda Miatas and make that step up just a little bit, and it got away from him here. So lots of racing yet to go here at E-Production in our chase for the national championship in this storied class, one of the longest running in SCCA history, and we've got interesting weather to make it all the more intriguing. So stay with us. We'll be back. This portion of the 48th annual SCCA National Championship Runoffs is being brought to you by Mazda, Zoom Zoom, by Black Magic Car Care Products, and by Gumout, cleaning since 1945.
What do you drive? Is it inspiring? Was it built by a behemoth car maker? Or insightful craftsmen obsessing over the details, building better cars for a discerning few? Are you one of the few who care about what you drive and how it drives? We're with you because we believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. We build Mazdas. What do you drive?
Gumout Regain Complete Fuel System Cleaner helps restore lost horsepower and fuel economy. Just pour an entire bottle of Gumout Regain into your tank before your next fill-up. Powerful cleaning additives attach themselves to fuel system carbon deposits and safely and effectively lift them away. That way, deposits burn up, then pass through the exhaust. Gumout Regain additives even leave a protective barrier to help keep new deposits from forming for up to 3,000 miles. Get a bottle of Gumout Regain Complete Fuel System Cleaner today for reduced engine hesitation, surging and knocking, as well as restored fuel economy and lost horsepower, all within one fill-up.
Okay, it's time to face facts. You're a gearhead. You treat the freeway on-ramp like your own personal racetrack, and you love the smell of burning rubber. Well, good news, Speed Junkie. The Sports Car Club of America wants you. With 40,000 members and 2,000 events across the country, the SCCA has all the wheel spinning, engine revving excitement you can handle. Want to dance on the edge of control? In SCCA Solo, you'll learn the blacktop two-step with an army of cones trying to trip you up. If slinging mud is your thing, check out SCCA Rallycross, where power slides and rooster tails are the name of the game. And if wheel-to-wheel competition is what you crave, SCCA Club Racing lets you chase the checkered flag on America's toughest racetracks. Join the Sports Car Club of America today and feed your obsession.
It is a lake, really, that they're racing in here. Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, there is a lake, but this one is a different type of lake. It is a racetrack that is a wash in rain conditions, and we are seeing some absolutely brilliant driving. And this guy has been spectacular. Rob Coffey, folks, the 02 David Hobbs Honda-sponsored Honda Prelude, David Hobbs Honda dealership down in Milwaukee. He's from Thunder Bay, Ontario, so I'm not sure how those two got together. But nonetheless, Coffey started 28th, and he is up into...
He's passing for
fourth.
fourth.
For fourth. That is Shreve that he's coming after. We just got a report. Kim Joyner just told me that Shreve ran wide over in turn 5. And, Brocky got by Shreve as well. So, and there we go. And that is the 64 of Austin Snyder, then Shreve. So Shreve definitely losing some ground right now. But that run by Rob Coffey is absolutely superb. From that far back in the pack, that's something special. 28th, and again, that is a front drive car, so it should be and can be certainly fairly effective here in the wet, but still, that's a spectacular run, Chip.
Yeah, it definitely is. I actually saw Mark Webber still in the gravel there. It's kind of a bad spot, but he looks like he has a great line. He had a great launch out of 14 on the front straight. Didn't have the horsepower to make the pass on Shreve, but it looks like he's got a great line. He's got his head in this properly. He's being smooth, and the car looks really hooked up.
By the way, Downey, who had qualified third, Aaron Downey in the roundpeg.com Mazda RX-3, back in pit lane. And it looks like, sometimes you just have conditions this wet. You get water into the engine, into the electrics, and it can create all kinds of problems. And there's another pass as Coffey gets down underneath Austin Snyder and picks up another spot. And right back after Shreve. Shreve got around Snyder as well after Shreve's moment in turn 5 when everybody's kind of slipped by him. He's coming back after a little bit and now bringing Coffey right along.
It's surprising to me he's not really running to technical rain line.
Yeah.
But it's working for him.
Yeah. Well, in the front drive cars, sometimes you can be just a little bit different there. I've certainly experienced that the hard way in a rear drive car, watching a guy in a rain line and go, oh, that looks good. And I step over onto the rain line and suddenly I'm spinning. That's happened. Not fun. But look at this. That was a nice move by Shreve going around Brocky. Boy, this has been a back and forth war here. So Brocky drops a spot, and right behind him now is Coffey and then Snyder. And boy, look at Shreve gap Brocky once they get to into that carousel. Now underneath the Hawk Performance bridge and heading right toward the kink one more time. There's a good look at Coffey. And I said he's from Thunder Bay, and how he hooked up with a car dealer in Milwaukee, I'm not exactly sure. But then David Hobbs, when he gives a speech, his subtitle is often, so what is a Brit doing in Wisconsin selling Japanese cars? So now you throw in with a Canadian driver. Why not? It all makes sense. Ooh, Coffey showing the nose down in Canada pretty heavily. And Brocky just turning in, knowing he wasn't quite close enough. But Coffey obviously a little bit quicker at this stage than Brocky. And what he doesn't want is to see Shreve, who he's been able to run with up until they got to Brocky, head off into the distance. Now Coffey going to try the outside. Now let's see if he dives to the inside in 14. Not quite close enough.
He had a good run out of 14 last time. Let's see if he can do it again. Yeah, he gets whatever diff he has in that car, it seems like he's able to put power down nicely.
Yeah.
Look at that. He pulled in 2 car lengths.
Yeah. You can see Brocky trying very hard not to get all the way to that outside edge of the track where it's a little bit greasy. And but he's still in all. He could not keep Coffey behind him. And so here we go. The order right now, Pritchard. Then he is up by now 8 seconds. Boy, that fluctuated a bit. We saw Ira throw down a couple of really quick laps, close it up by about just around 5 seconds, and now it's back out to 8. Halkias still sits in third. Then Shreve, the 41 and fourth. This 02 of Coffey coming at you right now. The white hood with the blue triangle on it. coming right at you. Then it is John Brocky, that red number 89 Miata. Then the 64 RX-8 of Schneider. Then the 77 Caterham 7 of Kozdraski. And then a recovering Jesse Prather in that number 34 MX-5, that rich blue machine. He's dropped off just a little bit at this point. There is the man currently occupying the final medal spot, Sam Halkias. And here is your leader, Justin Pritchard. It's got a sizable margin. It's well over 8 seconds at this. Is that? No, that's just missed. Boy, it looked like there was a blue hue to that, but I think that's just the mist. But it's funny. I was talking to Alex and to some of the crew guys about Justin, and they said he's just been griping about the car the whole time, and it's just because it's so different than what he's used to in a Formula car. But he certainly seems to have adapted beautifully to this car in the rain. And when you win a run, if you win a runoff, and even if you lead a runoff at this level, yeah, you might start liking that car.
Oh yeah, I mean it definitely is different. I think he definitely appreciates the fact that he has a windshield and a roof, and obviously if he runs open wheel, or anybody that runs karting, road racing is road racing. And if you can get if you have it, as they say,
yep,
and you have that feel, you can come in and say what the car needs. He's been around. He obviously knew about the rain line because he went right out there, and he also there's rumors he's done also some rally stuff too, which is great for
car control,
drifting. And we hear pulled off?
John Brackey off at turn 7. He is stopped up in the turn 6-7 area, so that's a tough break for a pole sitter and defending medalist. There's a good look at Ira. And I don't know, it looked to me as Ira, we had that head-on shot coming into Canada Corner, turn 12. It looked to me like he may have been reaching up, wiping the inside of that windshield. So that's that fogging issue you were talking about.
He did that before the race even started. He was wiping, taking his hand. Actually, I've seen people actually take a small little stick with a towel in the end and just try to wipe the windshield just enough to be able to see through it, because it gets so foggy with the mist and everything else. It's very dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a great battle.
Oh no!
That is the 70 of Steve Hickam, who had a good run going, and that is done. That is into that now very wet, almost heavy oatmeal-like gravel at this stage because it's so soaked. So he is off. He was coming up behind Jesse Prather, who was closing on Kozdraski. And there's the move as Coffey swings out. Same thing. That great run out of 14. This time his victim was Ken Shreve. So that's going to put Coffey up in a 4th.
He moved up 24 positions.
Yeah, that's
outstanding.
Superb drive. And of course, maybe he just made sure he left the original defrost system in that car hooked up, and it's working to perfection.
Well, his looks great.
Yeah.
We can see. Anytime you can see through the windshield, that means he can see or he can see through it. I mean, some of these guys that come down the straightaway, we look in the windshield, I can't tell you what color helmet they have.
Right, yeah, exactly. And Coffey putting on a drive. Now, with him in 4th, that means the next guy that he'd have to come after is Sam Halkias, and it's about exactly 3 seconds, the gap as they came by from Halkias back to Coffey. So we'll see just exactly what we can do looking over at the times. And Coffey, a 3:08 flat, Halkias a 3:11.
It won't take long to get that 3 second gap.
There's Halkias, and now there's a little bit of traffic. And there is Coffey swinging out around that red car. That is Coffey. So that's the gap. 3rd and a medal, 4th. And then Shreve behind him as they come up.
Oh, he went too deep.
Oh, a little bit hot, as you said. Nice catch on that.
Oh, man, that was brave coming back across the track like that. I saw him go down there pretty deep. I was like, he's going really, really deep. Yeah, he wasn't stopping.
That now puts Shreve right back in touch. And I couldn't tell the number of that red car. I'm hoping that may have been Mark Webber, that they got him out of the gravel in 5. We'll have to confirm that. There's Halkias. And Coffey. And there is Shreve, and we get the report, no, that was not Weber. He's still at turn 3. He is out of his car, so his day is done. That's a tough way to finish a 49th class start at the Runoffs. And that is the 53, who is having some problems. Guy Roos, the Boulder, Colorado driver, the Pearl Auto Body RX-7, and he's hit something.
Wow, it looks something like a boulder.
That's it. Yeah, I hope they looked at the front of that, because it looked like he was about to drive off, didn't it?
Yeah. Airbox. Airbox.
Okay, so there is the 0-2 of Coffey. Once again, now after that slight off, he's got to be coming back after Halkias at this stage. And the 53, as we saw of Guy Roos, he's obviously lost some time with that off. That's going to upset the Aero, even though they're not running that absolute full chat here. That kind of a bend in the front end of things is going to make it interesting.
Yeah, with all the rain and mist, it's kind of hard to see what that was, but it did not look pretty. With It looked like a V and a fender on the front bumper and everything was mashed up pretty
Folded
good.
up, yeah, exactly. So here we go. There is Halkias through the Billy Mitchell turn, up and over the Kohler International Bridge. Right behind him now is Coffey.
Now let's say this run out of 14.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, Halkias' TR6 is strong in a straight line. And we'll see what happens here. This is going to tell it. Oh, yeah, he got a run, yeah. Coffey did, but now what can he do with it? Let's see if when that 6 and that TR6 comes on song, see if Coffey can do anything. There you go. Halkias just easing away. But now Coffey's going to be much closer than he was when this lap started, obviously, and then he had that off, and he made it all up, and here he comes down to the inside. You have to see Halkias not going to make it easy.
Man, I would have swung to the left and used that rain line and ring shot, and it went over and under on the inside of 3.
Whoa, oh, no! And Halkias, there you go.
There he goes, the pressure.
Yep.
Pressure came in.
Kept it running. Ooh.
Oh, no.
Forces Shreve off. Oh!
He had nowhere to go.
That was unfortunate. That was just, ouch. That's Ken
right
Shreve, yeah. And Shreve had absolutely nothing he could do and caught the tires there right at the exit of turn 1. Drivers inside, and you know what? This might bring out that caution. If that car's broken, there's no way you can safely get a wreck or anything out there. They got to come across track and the like, so that's a real shame.
Good, going back to Coffey, what a drive.
Oh, absolutely. This has been brilliant.
He didn't put a wheel wrong. I mean, a little bit of braking in turn 5, but wow, whatever he did coming on the front straight, he was getting power on like an all-wheel drive car.
Yeah, he had that thing. It was squaring up beautifully. And in these conditions, you can't say, well, he put on wets, everybody else is on intermediates. We know everybody was at full range, so that's equal, and he has been superb in that coming up through the pack, as we said, talking about where he had qualified 28th, now into 3rd. That's some brilliant stuff. That's 25 spots he's made up in, 9 laps, because it happened to turn 1 where he got by Halkias.
Rain is the ultimate equalizer.
Boy, isn't it? There's Pritchard.
You can be talented in a low-powered car and still do well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Rain, it puts it in the driver's hands, that feel, that ability to feel that edge of adhesion. And Pritchard certainly doing a brilliant job here. He is now, we're going to see, last lap it was 14 seconds he had over Ira. And Ira, really, you can tell now he's struggling with that windshield fogging up. And it's costing him in terms of time. Let's see. Let's go back and take a look at what happened here, Chip.
Well, it looks like Shreve went on the inside, and when he went to track out, I think he tried to get back to power, and it just wasn't there, and he got loose. Spun to the inside, and, of course, still carrying speed. He didn't have full lockdown, so he slid out to the outside, put it back in first gear, but he should never pulled out right there. Because right there, Shreve's the one that actually had nowhere to go.
Well, and the unfortunate thing, I don't know if you've caught it, folks, but the worker there had the hand up, and they're supposed to always look at the corner station for a point, and he had his hand up saying, don't move. And Halkias did, and Shreve was coming around there, and he was already trying to pinch it down, knowing that there was a yellow, because there was a yellow flying at the entrance to that corner with the spin, and he was cognizant of it, but then when Halkias moved, there was nothing Shreve could do. Yeah,
no, I know exactly what you mean. When you're parked and you're spun out, you got to find the nearest corner station. They tell you they're your eyes.
Yeah.
And he basically put it in first gear and started to pull out. And I think he noticed I'm going to drive right in the front of somebody, so he stopped. But in that meantime, Shreve's already
committed. Yeah.
And when he hit the grass,
Yep. And it's understandable to a point. It is the runoffs. You're running in a metal position. You don't want to give it up. You want to get going as fast as you can. But, you have to be cognizant of what's happening around you. And I think even Sam himself would say, that was a mistake. I messed that one up. And I'll tell you what, this is SCCA club racing, and we don't have a full course caution. They don't like them. They say, we're here to race. We're not here to trundle around under the yellow. And they've got, as we watch this great battle for 6 between Kozdrowski in the Caterham 7, and again that recovering Jesse Prather in that Jesse Prather Motorsports MX-5, and he is coming strong as well. But they've got yellows flying, and they are handling this under what's called a local yellow, not going full course and letting the race unfold, and kudos to them.
I'll tell you what, these guys seem like they're really respecting the fact that there are cars off. And if you go off, it's one thing to go off and hit a wall or a gravel, pea gravel, but we got stationary cars now.
Oh, absolutely.
That are throughout the track.
And people working around them and wreckers and everything. And these drivers are really being pretty savvy about that. There's Halkias, who still sits fourth. He's got Austin Schneider. There's that car coming right up behind him. And then here's this battle we're following. Kozdrasky and Prather. Prather thought about it. This wasn't quite close.
He went deep again.
And he went deep. Well, I'll tell you.
That's the second time he went deep. He's still trying to figure out his brake zone. And again, that could be just because the car is heavy and he's just trying to get it woed down and trying to compete with a Caterham. That's like a little go-kart.
Yeah.
So maybe just can't outbrake him.
Lightweight, little four-cylinder in there, but because of the weight, it makes it a very quick little car. Look at Austin Schneider sideways as he's trying to run down Halkias, then the battle for fourth. And coming after him, Schneider, that was all kinds of crossed up. And tell you what, whether you like it or not, rain is sure fun to watch drivers out there.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I know these guys wish they ran a dry race because these cars really are awesome in the dry, but it really makes for, look, Coffey, qualified 28th. Did he get in a car or go to dinner last night saying, I'm going to get on a podium finish tomorrow?
Yeah.
Probably not. But in the rain, he's put his head down, he's got the car set up, and he's picking off one at a time, and he's going to be what a story.
Now, he may not have thought that at dinner, but when he got home to the hotel, turned on the Weather Channel, saw the forecast, he went, maybe.
Hey, maybe he doesn't even know he was even good in the rain.
That's true. That's a good point.
We'll have to wait for the interview.
Yeah, there you go. Well, it's been an entertaining race. I mean, up front, Pritchard now is 26 seconds over Ira, and it's Ira, that windshield is just causing him tons of trouble at this point. And Coffey, he's a large chunk back yet of Ira, so he's got a lot of work to do in the final 2 laps here as we're closing in on this one. But Schneider is definitely coming after Halkias as they head up through turn 13. And here we go. This is, I believe, the 52's down a lap at this stage. And here comes Halkias with Schneider in tow.
It's a good little battle there. I know they're trying to get in the draft here and try to use everything they can because it's got down to 2 laps. When we go to the line here, we got 2 laps.
Exactly. By the way, that 52 is Jeff Willard out of East Troy, Wisconsin in the Triple R Auto Sports Mazda RX-7. Local driver, not quite having the day he wanted here, certainly. But nonetheless, here we go. He's at the Runoffs and just getting here. You've got to go through quite a bit to be able to qualify for the Runoffs. You have to finish 4 races. You have to either finish strongly in your division or be in the top half of the national points to be able to get the invite to the Runoff. So
look at his windshield.
That is just a solid white sheet, isn't it? That poor guy.
You can see where he was scraping.
Which can sometimes even make it worse.
Yeah, you can see there's 2 spots he's trying to clear. It's just,
you can't see anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is just, I give him a lot of credit, flying blind, and he's flying. He's still turning some pretty good laps. Not the speed of Pritchard, certainly, but he's doing a nice job. And Greg Ira is just going to be frustrated as can be because he really thought if there wouldn't have been the caution last year when Schneider went off at the kink, he said, I think I could have held on and made that one work. And then he just mistimed the restart. He said, I thought they were going to go green a little sooner, and they held the green. I had to lift, and right when he lifted, the flag flew. And Brocky timed it perfectly and just sort of scooted right past him. And this is a good battle for 13th here. John Longwell and Brian Haupt having the battle here. Longwell in that BMW and working that outside line. You can see Haupt down into the kink under the Hawk Performance Brid. And again, Haupt is, as I talked about, part of that Pritchard-Haupt-Clark connection that are so involved in the production classes here. And see, Brian right now doing a nice job, sitting in the 13th spot. He got around Longwell. So these guys are having a good battle. And that heading down into Canada Corner. We are now on our final lap. Justin Pritchard just going by the start-finish line and starting the final lap. Ira now by as well, and that margin just ballooned out again to 34 at this stage. And the reason is Pritchard just turned a 3:05, Ira a 3:13. And again, that's visibility, because before that windshield fogged up, Ira and Pritchard were pretty close.
Yep.
So that tells you just what visibility means, obviously, being able to see here. And that's a kind of a sketchy thing as we watch Pritchard now down into 5. You're literally driving when that windshield's like that, driving out the side windows, looking for brake points, looking for markers, trying to figure out where you are in the track, and guessing. I think I should turn in here.
Yeah,
Kind
that's
of
pretty much.
spooky.
Yeah, that's the only way you can see.
Yeah.
Plus, if you know the track,
Right,
you kind
exactly.
of have an idea where you need to be. And Pritchard, I think, is doing a really great job, just hitting his points and
Yep.
not putting a wheel wrong. Here's another one off in Canada corner.
That's Kozdrowski late in the race, knocking on the door. A great battle for a top 5 per chance, and he is off into the pea gravel. That is a tough break. As there is Pritchard, your race leader. One final time out of turn 8 under the Johnsonville Bridge and into that carousel here that gets so much attention at Road America, followed by the only turn that gets more, the kink.
Oh, yeah.
And he's got a little bit of traffic, just confidently takes it down to the inside, but diamonded it nicely there to make sure. And now, under the Hawk Performance Bridge, heading toward the kink on his final lap. He's just got this turn and 3 more official corners, a little couple of bobs and weaves. And Justin Pritchard, if he hangs on, I think we can truly say now he's made the conversion from open-wheel formula cars to sedans, and done so with a resounding level of success. And this will be his 4th gold, 4th national championship.
Yeah, that's
That's
awesome.
impressive, absolutely.
Well, when you got it, you got it. I don't have to tell you that, but Justin obviously knows what he's doing when it comes to open wheel. He got the feel, and with the rally stuff he's doing, he's got the off-road and the slipping and sliding and bouncing around.
Well, and with a class that ran earlier this morning, Formula B, when that was first announced, it was a regional-only class. There's a race they hold at Road Atlanta called the ARC, which is sort of the unofficial club class national championship. And he showed up in a converted Formula Continental car and just destroyed the field in that. So the man's got it. He's got the gift. And even though the application might be a little different, the physics of driving a car, it doesn't matter. He's got 4 wheels and a tranny, and everything's the same. And he has figured it out, and he has figured it out in the rain as he is coming across the line for his 4th national championship, first in sedans. Tremendous drive by Justin Pritchard. It'll be interesting to see what the final margin of victory is over a struggling Greg Ira with that visibility here. And we haven't even seen him come by yet. There is Ira, and just now heading up into turn 14 with that windshield absolutely opaque at this point. That's a tough day in his office, to be sure. But nonetheless, it'll be a silver medal as he comes up the hill at this point, and it'll be his 3rd medal in Runoffs competition. It is not quite the one he's been after for those years here, but still, in those kind of conditions with that visibility issue, he has Greg Ira bringing it home in 2nd. That's a pretty good drive.
Yeah, they all did a great job. Everybody's clean. I think that they didn't the front guys didn't put a wheel wrong in Coffee. He's the one that really had to, put his drive in as far as how many people to pass and not getting the car banged up or cut a tire. Or, he really played a smart race, and he's even right now he's playing it smart.
28th to 3rd. That's 25 spots he has made up. I think that's a lock for the hard charger. I don't think there's any question of that. And it has been a purely brilliant drive. And look at this. He is just being very, very gentle. That's the number 3 on Longwell, and he's not forcing that issue at all. I'll just take it right here if I have to. Up the hill they come. And Rob Coffey, again, just an amazing story from 28th on the grid to a bronze medal in E-Production at the Runoffs. That is a brilliant piece of driving as he comes by. That's a great story, to be sure. The final margin of victory for Pritchard, 39.3 seconds. And again, obviously Ira really struggling with the visibility. So that's certainly part of the reason for that. Hawkius is 4th. Austin Snader is 5th. And I think he'll take that after the off he had in his crash in the kink last year. He brought it home with a good top 5. Then Jesse Prather. And that was a great drive by Jesse with that new car that they're developing. And obviously he's learned a lot this week here at the Runoffs. And believe me, I bet you they're going to be mighty strong come next year for sure. We're then waiting for James Samaras and Mike Sturm, who's moved up to 8th from his 12th starting spot. But there's the man of the moment, to be sure, Justin Pritchard. Doesn't matter what he drives, he seems to be able to take it to the front and win a gold.
Yep, just another one to add to the shelf at home, and wonder what he's going to drive next.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Well, I don't know if, now that he's part of that production family that we were talking about, this may be it for a while, and we'll see what he does. But and like I said, I think he's going to be a lot more fond of this car than he was maybe before. Got that hand out the window, celebrating, waved to the corner workers, a nice clenched fist pump, and well earned, that's for sure.
That's great to see that the first generation RX-7 out there. That was when I ran Spec RX-7. It was a neat spec class, and then they had the IT7, which is a little bit more modified in the southeast. But that's a really neat looking car with the wide fender flares, and of course any of the production cars are fantastic. The no mirrors, smooth sides, a little hole in the hood for the intake.
Absolutely.
And the rotary, I've been racing RX-8 in World Challenge, and those things at 9,000 RPM do sound cool.
They do. There's absolutely no doubt about it. And again, this is what's called limited prep for the newer types of cars. It's limited prep. The older cars are full prep production, and it's pretty involved what that means. But on the base level, it's fairly self-explanatory. And he's given it a great ride, to be sure. And it's a good, reliable car. And there's that fist pump.
Did you see how fogged up his car was?
Yeah, he was pretty fogged as well.
Just the bottom you can see out of. So maybe he was driving the same situation when they come in. Well, we do we throw it to Biz. We'll have to see their windshield to see how bad it really is for all.
Yeah,
of them.
that would be interesting. Get a shot. It's tough to get the camera in the car to look out, but boy, I'll tell you, it would give you a great clue what these guys have been dealing with. And here comes Justin Pritchard, up for the fourth time to collect a gold medal at the Runoffs. And heading toward John Bizignano, who I hope has been able to find some refuge underneath that SCCA grid worker awning down there until he gets out. Yeah, you're right. Boy, that is, except for that little stripe underneath, that's fogged up pretty well, hasn't it?
I think that's why I put his window net down after the race so he could look out.
Yeah, he's been driving in a crouch.
Yeah.
And still throwing, his last lap, he eased up a lot and turned to 312, but he was consistently running 305s, 306s, and quick enough to open it up.
Look how
look
fogged
at that.
up.
Wow. Yeah, that is, that's, you pointed out, that's the downside of running a car with a roof and a windshield, particularly one that's a heavily modified race car where you may not have the stock defrost system really working too well. But he dealt with it, and dealt with it incredibly well, that's for sure. And he's getting the Hoosier Tire necklace put on, and got to have the hat, of course, before you get out and do the interview. What a day for Justin Pritchard. Again, Greg Ira second, Rob Coffey. Maybe the drive, one of the drives, certainly of the Runoffs here from 28th to 3rd. That's pretty impressive stuff. And it looks like Biz is down there and ready. John Bizignano, this guy, look at that windshield. He earned this one.
Oh, what a beautiful drive, Justin. Congratulations on that gold medal. Got to put your hat on there, buddy. SCCA, and let's get the gold medal in here, too. Bonnie has come out here especially for these wet conditions to make you gold. Congratulations. Justin, if I can ask you, in the opening laps of that race, you certainly had a bit of competition from that big orange car right behind you, number 2. It seemed like he had you on the straightaways, but your handling was certainly superior on most of the track.
Well, yeah, it was, a lot of it was trying to see him to know where he was to get close enough to pass. The visibility was really bad out there. I had about an inch on the top, on the lower part where I could see through. But yeah, otherwise, just concentrated on staying close to him and getting up get by him. And once I got by him, I couldn't tell if he was behind me or not because I couldn't see anything. So
there was a lot of talk about the dry line, about the wet line. Of course, there was no dry line, but in these conditions, it's actually better to stay off the racing line and to try and find a little bit higher road.
Oh, definitely. The all the patches they put down and all the rubber gets so sticky in the dry is lethal in the wet. So yeah, you want to run wherever that isn't.
What a beautiful run. Once you got by, the handling of the car, slipping and sliding, you looked so steady out there. Even when things were getting loose, it was somewhat predictable for you.
Yeah, I never saw anybody coming, so I just kind of got to a point and drove at that level and didn't push much more than that. So yeah, I was not having to push the limits of the whole race about where the grip was.
Congratulations on a great gold medal and a great win in very difficult conditions, buddy.
All right, thank you. Thanks, Meredith.
All right, thank you, Meredith. I'm sure Meredith earned a big thank you here this weekend. So, the Datsun, if I can call it a Datsun, it certainly showed some great legs on those straightaways. Even in the wet conditions, somehow you were able to get that power down. Congratulations on your great silver medal, Greg, but my gosh, it had to be frustrating out there for you.
I tell you, I had the best rain tires out there. Hoosier gave me some really awesome rains. We've used these before in improved touring racing, and I just simply couldn't see. I had the rag on a stick working, and in between gears, I just simply couldn't see.
You know, we could see that in the booth. Show us what you were using, if you can demonstrate that to us. There you go. This is
very high tech.
The most sophisticated racing possible here. A chamois on a stick. This is something like you'd have at the Iowa State Fair, but it would be deep fat fried. Anyway, you're actually at 100 plus miles an hour. You're trying to see where you're going.
Absolutely. The car was putting the power down great, and I knew my advantage would be on the straightaways. The car was really nice and stable. The brakes worked great. I just, I couldn't see where the puddles were. I couldn't see the apexes, and I'm wiping with a chamois and driving around the kink with one hand, and it was a tough job.
I'm glad you said that, because a lot of people, when they say these drivers can't see a thing, they still think the drivers can see something.
You can shoot the camera through there if you want to see, but literally, if I got a good wipe, I could see a couple 100 feet. And you know how important it is to see when you're racing.
Congratulations on a great silver medal. All right, number 3, someone who worked extremely hard to get where he started. He qualified in 28th position, I believe. My gosh, what the drive of the meet. Let me tell you, Rob, what was it like coming through all those cars?
That was crazy. That was absolutely the craziest thing I've ever done. And when my crew told me we were in 3rd, I thought they were lying to me. I asked them about 10 times, come on, where are we really? I had no idea we were in 3rd place, but I owe it to my crew. We blew our primary motor, and we were headed home. I said, I want to go home. We had some parts and pieces in the trailer. They actually built a motor at the track, borrowed some cams from Mike Sturm, put an engine together, and here we are. So I owe it to my crew, Don Kettering and Corey Trojan and Scott Green, for helping us make it through.
Of course, in these wet conditions, you don't need every last horsepower, but a lot of drivers.
You know what I need? Hoosiers. I need Hoosier tires. Hoosier tires got it done.
Have you called David Hobbs yet and told him what happened?
No, I think I'll give him a ring.
All right, mate. Well, give him my very best when you do.
I will.
I'll tell you, I didn't think they were going to get this race finished. These guys are some of the bravest drivers, the most talented drivers I've seen in a long time.
John, I think now we pose the question, how did the connection come from a guy from Canada and David Hobbs? And I think now we can answer that, because Hobbs will go, I hired him because I'm sponsoring him because he's got large attachments. And he gave it one heck of a ride, unbelievable. And I think Biz just pointed out the latest member of the ShamWow family, Sham on a stick. Absolutely. There's your unofficial results. Justin Pritchett, Greg Ira, boy, talk about a hard-earned silver. And Pritchard, too, there's that little bit of a slot on the windshield he was driving through. And then Coffey, just an incredible story. One of the biggest fields here, and to come from 28th to a medal, that's spectacular. Sam Halkias was in 3rd, had that moment, and I'm sure he's going to be upset about what happened as well. Austin Snyder rounds out the top 5. Jesse Prather with that developing MX-5 in this category. It's going to be fun to watch. James Samaras. Mike Sturm, the Sturminator, as he's known. Sam Moore and Steve Hickam. That's absolutely great. And I have to say, that's wonderful for Sturm. I used to ice race against him. He's a lot of fun. He's a great guy. Brian Haupt, that's, again, that is basically the father-in-law now to our winner, Justin Pritchard. And when he said, thanks, Meredith, I think that was the acknowledgement that, when he married Meredith, he was in the production clan, and that's what the changeover was, and it brought him another gold medal. That's a great story to be sure. So just some super stuff, without a doubt. Wonderful indeed. And Charlie Clark there as well, and that's another one of them. So it's a great connection there in the production clan. So take a look at, there's your top 11 through 20. Now we go down the order just a little bit further, and of course Ken Shreve was a player for a potential medal until that off, not of his doing in any way, shape, or form. And John Brocky, just a long day for one of the real guns here, and then Aaron Downey just struggling right from the get-go, was in and out of the pits. So tough day there, but the rain, awfully interesting race to be sure, and it certainly produced a good one here. And there is your gold medalist and the crew enjoying a very special lap of honor as the E-Production National Champion. It's been a treat.
Following post-race technical inspection, the number 02 car was disqualified, promoting Sam Halkias to 3rd place.
This portion of the 48th Annual SCCA National Championship Runoffs is being brought to you by Mazda, Zoom Zoom, by Black Magic Car Care Products, and by Gumout, cleaning since 1945.
What do you drive? Is it inspiring? Was it built by a behemoth car maker? Or insightful craftsmen obsessing over the details, building better cars for a discerning few? Are you one of the few who care about what you drive and how it drives? We're with you because we believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. We build Mazdas. What do you drive?
Gumout Regain Complete Fuel System Cleaner helps restore lost horsepower and fuel economy. Just pour an entire bottle of Gumout Regain into your tank before your next fill-up. Powerful cleaning additives attach themselves to fuel system carbon deposits and safely and effectively lift them away. That way, deposits burn up, then pass through the exhaust. Gumout Regain additives even leave a protective barrier to help keep new deposits from forming for up to 3,000 miles. Get a bottle of Gumout Regain Complete Fuel System Cleaner today for reduced engine hesitation, surging and knocking, as well as restored fuel economy and lost horsepower, all within one fill-up.
Okay, it's time to face facts. You're a gearhead. You treat the freeway on-ramp like your own personal racetrack, and you love the smell of burning rubber. Well, good news, Speed Junkie. The Sports Car Club of America wants you. With 40,000 members and 2,000 events across the country, the SCCA has all the wheel-spinning, engine-revving excitement you can handle. Want to dance on the edge of control? In SCCA Solo, you'll learn the blacktop two-step with an army of cones trying to trip you up. If slinging mud is your thing, check out SCCA Rallycross, where power slides and rooster tails are the name of the game. And if wheel-to-wheel competition is what you crave, SCCA Club Racing lets you chase the checkered flag on America's toughest racetracks. Join the Sports Car Club of America today and feed your obsession.